has returned with some more true facts, and this time it is the rise of the kitten snake. What would you think he's talking about?
Kitten snake.
Yeah.
Like a little kitten playing with a little snake. Kitten snake.
Oh.
Kitten snake.
Like
Kitten.
an animal that would be like a kitten snake.
Oh, like a ferret or like a weasel.
I saw the thumbnail, and I think that's what it was. Either a ferret or a weasel.
Oh, no.
But yeah, kitten snake. Isn't that a funny name? I like it.
My friend had a ferret.
I've had friends with ferrets too, and this one that I knew had its stank gland removed, like its musk sac or whatever that makes them stink really bad. Ferrets.
Are you sure you're not thinking about a skunk?
No.
Okay.
Like that. It's no. A skunk has a motherfucking defense mechanism built in it. I'm just talking about their natural. They have a natural odor that's really strong.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could take that out of a ferret. But
it's like an on-purpose type of thing for their. I don't know if it's mating or whatever, but
yeah.
And it still had that smell. Like
Tutu, you smell like that.
It wasn't overwhelming, but it was still pungent.
No, my grandfather had a pet skunk when my dad was a kid.
Yeah.
And it had its gland removed. I'm not saying that I agree with that. But I know that people turn some animals into pets like that, and so then it couldn't spray anybody, and it was just like super chill supposedly. But yeah, no, my friend had a ferret, and it was just kind of like a free roam ferret in the house. So I mean, it had its cage, but he let it out all the time, so you'd just be walking and then the ferret would be like,
yeah,
kind of creepy.
With all the knowledge I have of them, that's a really bad idea.
Yeah, they're very sneaky.
Like they get into things, just imagine them getting into your air ducts or crawling inside of your couch.
I used to want one really bad, or I guess a couple of them, because if I got one, I'd have more than one. Okay, let's get to the rise of the kitten snake.
The rise of the kitten snake.
20-some-odd million years ago, there was a bit of a rodent situation. Things had cooled off a bit, and the emerging grasslands were perfect for general rodent activities. Around the same time, there was a group of emerging carnivores, the mustelids, that saw all of this as an opportunity for a buffet. Now, the innovation of the rodent, those meatballs of the field, was the ability to dig and burrow with their claws and ever-growing front teeth. And it can be a challenge if your favorite snack is packaged in a maze of tunnels. So the innovation of the mustelids, like this one right here, was to develop a body plan that could go right into the tunnels after them. Their bodies got longer and their legs shorter until they took the form of a kitten snake, which is obviously awesome, but there's trade-offs just like anything else. You can see how good a ferret is in a tunnel. I mean, that's some crouched down walking right there. But if you're all stretched...
Isn't the point of like their whiskers to be able to feel how big the hole is?
That's how
I know
cats
it's for
work,
cats,
so
yeah.
I would assume.
Well, it makes sense for anything that like has them shooting out to the side.
Yeah.
Because they all burrow after stuff. Like every animal that has that will go into like a little hole to get something.
Do you want to know how I learned that?
How?
Because I wanted to cut my cats off, and my dad said absolutely not. I was like, just a little hair trim, and he said no. And then he taught me, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
You monster!
I didn't know.
Damn.
I thought it was just like hair.
Stretched out like that, you're basically planking the whole time. And it's a great ab workout, but it takes some doing. So, when they walk out in the open, they arch their backs and bring their legs closer together to better bear the weight. On the plus side, they can use their bodies like a spring when they run. Here's a demonstration by a least weasel.
Wow.
It's a ridiculous name. I can think of plenty of things less of a weasel than that. Your mom's screwdriver. That's less. Sudoku. I could go on. Your mom. Sorry, just wanted to say that. Anyway, these stretched-out rodent hunters became quite successful and evolved into a diverse group of animals alive today. One thing, though, that they all seem to have in common is that they're fierce little f***ers. I mean, no wonder. That's what happens when you spend a few million years hunting in a hole. Think about it. It's pitch black down there. You're in a narrow tube, and the thing you're hunting has teeth that can chew through wood. Jerry, this doesn't look intimidating. It looks like it forgot its lines at an audition. Well, this one's even worse, Jerry. It looks like Mr. Magoo is a Furby. That line dates me, doesn't it? Anyway, to deal with rodents that I believe would be scary coming at you in a tunnel, Mustelids evolved disproportionately strong jaws. Many animals go wider when they want a stronger bite, but mustelids went long, with lots of leverage for those muscles to work through. And the connection between the lower and upper jaw is a strong, tight fit. Stays together even as a skull. A dog or a human lower jaw just falls off. Anyway, having spent their evolutionary childhood performing face-first colonoscopies of rodent tunnels, mustelids were plenty ready to f*** things up when they ventured out into the rest of the world. The mustelid, perhaps best known for its bad acidness, is the honey badger, with its ability to fart bees and squirt acid from its nipples. Jerry, that's obviously not true. What do you mean, how do I know? Jerry, nothing farts bees, all right? Do your job. Anyway, here you can see a honey badger that has a python right where it wants it. Jerry, again, that honey badger's clearly f***ed. Look at it. Oh, great, now it's going to be eviscerated by jackals, too. Oh, shit, you were right.
Oh.
That's crazy. I mean, the snake definitely thought this was going to end different. Fine, Jerry, I did too.
Leave it alone.
Oh, now they're doing
my
the spaghetti scene from the dog movie, Lady and the Tramp. I mean, that's always been a horror movie, from the point of view of the noodle. But you can see that the rest of the animal kingdom is still trying to catch up to what mustelids are capable of. They can go wherever they want. A number of mustelids followed the rodents into the forests, like these stoats who were filmed by the naturalist Robert E. Fuller, who's very good at what he does. May not be as many tunnels, but there's certainly burrows and nests to raid. Listen, someone had to make sure that the squirrels don't get too sassy. Look at it licking its chops. And if you didn't know, squirrels are f***ing fast. But that's fine for the stoat. It'll try after anything. Check this out.
Oh
Straight up
my
diving
God.
shot for the bird. And the other one's so confused. And look at this stoat. It's actually thinking about it. That's the most delayed reaction from the pheasant. But of course, sometimes you'll have to settle for an egg.
Oh,
I mean, that's one
wow.
way to scramble it, isn't it?
Please.
It's not even a dad joke. It's just like a dad observation. I mean, if you're that size, an egg will make you an omelet big enough to wear as a poncho. But listen, I don't mean to make it sound like rodents are pushovers. A rat, for example, will put up quite a fight. I mean, look at that. The rat
damn,
goes
it's
right
squared
in.
up.
And the
It
stoat's
looks-
like,
it's squared
finally,
up.
someone worthy.
Yeah.
And then it gets all crouching tiger, hidden dragon from there. And sometimes you gotta know when to give up. But I certainly don't want to give you the impression that these smaller mustelids are all piss and vinegar. I mean, they have a softer side as well. Look at this one stretching out in his den. He's even got a little pillow. Oh God, that's a dead mouse. You have to admit it's pretty metal using a corpse for neck support. But here's a little
didn't see
nuptial
it.
scene. Oop, she's pissed. Look at that side eye. That's amazing. He's totally come home drunk. Probably out drinking with the rat and lost track of time. She's having none of it, and he knows it too.
Chad
Right
comes
there
to
is
bed
the
at
stoat
night.
equivalent
Yes,
of sleeping on the
literally
couch.
last night.
Because they can get very cuddly. You think your legs get tangled up under the sheets? Try your whole torso like a weasel do. I mean, foreplay can look like a Cirque du Soleil act. And you know what that leads to? Weasel sex, right? I mean, that looks
no.
very similar to killing, actually.
No.
But on the bright side, it goes on for about 90 minutes. So, there's that. Now, the embryos of most mustelids don't necessarily implant right away. They can remain in diapause until the conditions are right, to make sure the little babies have a chance. I mean, right out the gate, you wouldn't want these cute little bastards to have to make it through a winter. And winters can be challenging for mustelids. That long body means that they lose heat quickly, and they don't hibernate, so they've had to adapt. Maybe the most remarkable is that some mustelids, including this least weasel, again with the name, I mean, it is around the size of a hot dog, so I'll let it slide. Anyway, they reduce the size of their brain case and their brains during the winter. They've got a high metabolism, and that brain takes a lot of energy, so why not? You want to sell your car to a weasel, do it in January. Now, these forest-dwelling mustelids can get quite a bit bigger. I mean, those pine martens there aren't that
was
much smaller
quick,
than the
dude.
fox,
That
but they're
was
still quite
quick.
comfortable up in the trees. Look at this one doing a little inchworm down. And then they get up to this. I'll tell you right now, that's a fool's errand. You don't let a squirrel goad you into a circle chase. I mean, I get it. You can't give up once you start because you're so pissed off. And now there's people filming it, for God's sakes. And the only way to get to a squirrel is make fun of its tail. Tell them they use product to get that poof. They'll stop dead in their tracks, let you touch it. It's all they've got. A marten may be big enough to take on a cat, but mustelids get bigger still. The wolverine, for example, went
Hell
full
no.
bear with an incredible stocky
Oh my
build
God.
and the ability to fart beat. God damn it, Jerry. You didn't do research, did you? And I don't want to say it again. Nothing farts bees. Do you have anything about the wolverine? It looks kind of like a bear. I just said that. Forget it. Just move on to badgers.
It really does
In
look
addition
like
to
a
the
bear.
honeyed variety, there's a number of flavors of badger out there. some of them more related than others. They're all into
Look at those
eyeliner, but the
ears.
European badger took it a bit far, in my opinion. All badgers have the ability to fart.
Those ears, dude.
Jerry,
What the fuck?
you deleted the word bees just now, didn't you? Whatever, at least this way it's
Ability to
true.
fart.
Anyway, a long time ago, the badgers said, I'm tired of going into someone else's hole. I don't want someone else's hole. I want my own hole. And I want to wear sweatpants all the time. So they changed their body into a pair of sweatpants. And they learned how to dig with their incredibly long claws. Their claws are so long that the badger wonders why a certain character is named after a wolverine and not a badger. Look at him right there. It's bullshit. Anyway, unlike other mustelids, badgers do dig their own holes. And they're nice big holes, too. Don't have to squat down all the time. And speaking of squatting, they don't poop in there. They go outside to poop. Civilized, right?
like Shorty.
And I'll tell you, if you need help burying a body, call a badger. Look at this one. Freezer's probably full, so it decides to bury an entire cow. Save it for later dry age. Pay extra for that until it rains. Look how happy it is with itself. Now, a number of mustelids are quite comfortable in the water and have developed a taste for sushi fish like this mink here. But one family of mustelids are particularly adapted to living in and around the water, the otters. There's all sorts of them. Here you can see some smooth-coated otter babies, which are, well, they're being ridiculously adorable, all right?
They are.
I don't have anything to say. I don't even know what they're doing. I just want to look at them. Not everything has a point. Now, in case you think the otters have gone soft, they haven't. The giant otter, for example, is quite the predator and has a posse. So if some nosy jaguar happens to be loitering on their turf, they're plenty capable to give it the what for. Look at that. And after they chase it away, they hurl insults at it.
Shit loose. Goddamn.
I was just a ramp for him. That was all I was to him in that moment.
Seriously, that was rude. Funny, but
Dude,
rude.
like, the longer that... Yeah, you go roll back. There we go. The longer that I am around Sushi, the more the character Lord Beerus makes sense to me.
The bodies of otters are streamlined with shortened limbs and webbed feet, which allow them to undulate efficiently through the water as they swim. Those long bodies lose heat in the water, and unlike other aquatic mammals which pack on an insulating layer of blubber, otters got very, very hairy. Sea otters have the densest coat of fur of any animal. You'd go through your whole stash trying to wax the nethers of a sea otter. An outer layer of hair acts as a water barrier, while the layer beneath holds on to trapped air. The air insulates sea otters, but also makes them buoyant, so they can float around and groom themselves or have a snack, which people find cute. Even though if I do the same thing, but on a couch, naked with a bag of chips propped up on my tum-tums, for some reason I look pathetic. It's a double standard, and it's bullshit.
pathetic? If you
Anyway,
just
they can open
always
clams with
do it.
rocks. Apparently you get an award for that, too. Sorry, this whole thing put me in a mood. Jerry, what else do they do? They have the ability... No. I don't even understand how you think it would be possible. Jerry, if you breathe them in, they're not coming out the back. You don't even have your piping straight. Listen, even if you swallowed 1,000 bees and somehow survived the internal trauma, the most that would happen, Jerry, is you would crap out some dead bees.
Yeah.
Well, sure, stepping in it might hurt, but stepping in is something you avoid with or without the bees, Jerry. Well, I'm sad that it doesn't exist, too. I'd love to fart some bees.
No.
You do a sort of John Wayne thing.
That would
Kid, I
hurt.
dare you to pull my finger, and then just let them go. You wouldn't want to have to pull your pants down every time, though. You get sort of like a doggy door or a flap.
flap.
You know, the size of a bee.
So
Dude,
funny.
what about those Wolverines? Those fucking Supreme units? These fucking tank animals. Like,
Terrifying.
I couldn't imagine being out and then just running up on one of them
No.
motherfuckers.
Like, that's what I was thinking of. Whenever I saw it, and I was like, instantly, no. Like, I have a good amount of fight in me.
And I just want to tell a side
that-
story about your animal judgment. You know, when Nikki and I were looking for Shorty and we were trying to find a dog because we really wanted one.
Okay, this is before.
Nikki
this
had
is
no prior
before.
experience with shelter dogs,
No.
pit bulls
No.
in general.
I had little Bichons,
Yes.
little baby poodles, you know?
And she goes and she gets the idea that, like, maybe we need to look at other dogs other than Shorty, which was a mistake, by the way, that I pointed out. Was a
I just
mistake.
wanted to, like, feel it out.
She had seen through the cage little
I went
window.
up to each one and saw if we had a connection. When I went up to Shorty's, his ass was facing me, and he was head first in his food ball.
Not much has changed.
But this dog,
there was a big ass pit bull. I mean, it was big. It probably weighed
he's probably
90
bigger
pounds.
than me. I don't know.
And his name was Paris. And he played Nikki like a fiddle. Let me out. Everything's good.
Dude,
let me out.
he looked
And
at
then
me
as
like
soon
he
as you
was-
let me out, you are gone. I'm going to do what I want to. I'm not going to listen to you. And if you get in my way, you're just an object that's in my way.
I was very disappointed. Listen, I looked, and he looked in my eyes, and I looked in his eyes, and we had a moment of just like, you need to take me home. You have to. You're my mother now.
No,
And I
he
was
gave
like-
you the look of get the fucking door open.
And I was like, you're right.
Now.
I love you. Let me get the handler. The handler was like, are you sure?
Not just the handler, also me.
Are you sure?
Who has been a previous owner of a pit bull, who's been around them. They're like my favorite dog breed, and I know how they act. And I knew he was suspect.
He's a lot. He would be a lot. Like anyway. So I get him out there, right? And we're like in the little courtyard thing, and he's just like, I'm not even gonna look at you now. And I was like, come here, and he was like, no, don't
No.
fucking even, don't even
No.
like speak my
So
name.
the point that I'm trying to get at is Nikki is not the kind of person to look at a threatening animal and immediately, because it's threatening, be
True.
like, hell no. She'd probably
True.
be like, oh my God, if I feed it something, if I
Yeah.
give it some food. But a
But-
Wolverine,
Oh, I am trying my best to
You know-
climb a tree and hope for the best.
you know, almost all of those motherfuckers would take your finger off.
Probably more than a finger.
But I'm just
Probably more
saying,
than a
like,
finger.
even the little bitty ones will fuck you up probably.
There was a video that we were watching, and it was an animal video. We watch a lot of animal videos here, if you're new. It was some sort of, it was a wombat. It was a wombat. It was trying to like climb up somebody's leg. Like,
Yeah.
And they were like, oh man, like that can like shred you, you know, like they've got big claws. And I was like, I wouldn't care.
You better fucking care.
I take that back.
You better
I
fucking
take
care.
that back.
But the honey badgers are just insane. Like the badgers in general are insane. All these things. It's
The
just
little weasels, they're so long, and
But-
then they look like they like arch their backs. They look like they're like stealing stuff.
but you don't want that thing running up your pant leg, I swear. You know,
No.
it'd be horrible. So great video by Zafrank. Always funny. I love the True Facts videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you in the
See
next
you
one.
guys.
Bye.